little one. Join us!
Have you ever felt a spine-chilling presence? At the very moment you stepped into the deep, sun-dappled mountains of Japan, a sensation that someone or something was watching you from the shadows of the ferns, in the depths of the lush, overgrown thickets, accompanied by the heavy, damp scent of ancient soil and rotting leaves. There exists a presence that far exceeds the conventional boundaries of any biological creature we know. This is the phantom serpent, the Tsuchinoko, a being that has captivated the Japanese imagination from the Showa era to the present day, at times driving the nation into a feverish frenzy, and at others plunging individuals into the darkest depths of primal fear. With its bizarrely distended torso resembling a beer bottle, a flat, triangular head, and a piercing, almost human-like gaze, this creature has been the subject of countless sightings across the country. It is an entity that transcends the simple classification of an unidentified mysterious animal, becoming instead a symbol of the terror rooted deep within our collective subconscious. One must wonder if the Tsuchinoko is a relic of the prehistoric past, a species that miraculously survived the ages of extinction, or perhaps a visitor from another dimension, a glitch in the fabric of our reality. Today, we shall step into the labyrinthine mystery of the Tsuchinoko, weaving together terrifying eyewitness accounts, ancient manuscripts, and the latest scientific hypotheses. Are you truly confident that you could maintain your sanity if that flat, menacing head suddenly emerged from the rustling bushes right before your very eyes? As we begin this journey into the unknown, imagine the stillness of a mountain path where the very air feels heavy with the weight of centuries. The sunlight filters through the canopy in jagged shards, illuminating the forest floor where the silence is so absolute it becomes a ringing in your ears. Suddenly, the rhythm of the woods is broken by a sound that does not belong, not the slithering hiss of a common snake, but a heavy, thumping vibration that resonates through the soles of your feet. When you trace the origin of the sound, you find yourself staring at a silhouette, so grotesque, so anatomically impossible, that your brain struggles to find a label for it. It is thick, stunted, and possesses a gravity that seems to distort the space around it. To trace the origins of the Tsuchinoko is to travel back to the very dawn of Japanese civilization, finding its echoes in the oldest historical records such as the Kojiki and the Nihon Shoki. In these ancient texts, the name Nozuchi appears as an alias for the deity of the fields, Kayanoheim. The Nozuchi was envisioned as a spirit of the wild, a serpentine god shaped like a mallet, embodying the raw and unpredictable power of nature itself. In an age where the Japanese believed that 8 million gods inhabited every stone, tree, and river, the encounter with an unexplainable, misshapen creature was not merely a biological curiosity, but a direct confrontation with the divine. To the ancients, this creature was the guardian of the sacred boundary, where the human world ended and the realm of spirits began. Villages of that era lived in a delicate balance with these mountains, offering prayers and sake to appease the mountain gods, for to see a Nozuchi was to receive a divine warning that one had trespassed too far into the forbidden. The presence of this creature was further solidified in the Wamyo Ruijusho, a sprawling encyclopedia from the Heian period. It was not treated as a mere fable, but as a tangible object of dread for the people of that time. The descriptions written by the scholars of the imperial court reveal a struggle to categorize a being that defied the natural order. It looked like a snake, yet lacked the serpent's grace. It resembled a tool of labor, the mallet, yet it pulsed with a malevolent life. In the flickering candlelight of aristocratic mansions, stories of the thick snake were whispered with the same conviction as accounts of court intrigue, representing the darkness that the light of civilization could never fully illuminate. Moving into the Kamakura and Edo periods, the literature depicts the creature as a fearsome monster, dwelling in the deepest recesses of the mountains, capable of swallowing humans, whole or lunging at the feet of unsuspecting travelers with terrifying speed. The Wakan Sansai Zue, an illustrious encyclopedia of the Edo era, features a detailed illustration of the Nozuchi Hebi, documenting characteristics that are shockingly consistent with modern sightings. It describes a creature with a body, as thick as a mallet, capable of climbing trees and rolling down slopes like a wheel. This consistency across thousands of years suggests that we are not dealing with a mere hallucination or a collective delusion born of modern stress, but rather a persistent physical reality that has haunted the Japanese landscape for millennia. What kind of truth do you sense in this form, that was once worshipped as a god and feared as a demon? I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments as we delve deeper. The most striking feature of the Tsuchinoko is its utterly bizarre physical proportions, which seem to mock the laws of evolutionary biology. Most witnesses describe a creature between 30 to 60 centimeters in length, a deceptive smallness that is contradicted by its unnatural girth. The central part of its body is unnaturally swollen, as if it had swallowed a large bottle whole, tapering sharply into a short, stubby tail. This mallet-like shape is not just a visual description, but often carries a sense of unnatural weight and density. Unlike the fluid, rhythmic movement of a normal snake, the Tsuchinoko possesses a rigid, muscular presence that feels more like a solid object than a living animal. Its skin is covered in reptilian scales, yet their texture is a point of intense debate among those who have seen it. Some describe it as being as rough and dry as a weathered stone, while others claim it glistens with a damp, oily sheen like a moss-covered rock in a stream. This discrepancy suggests a sophisticated camouflage ability, perhaps a way of altering its surface texture to match the humidity and light of its environment. From a psychological perspective, a human in a state of extreme terror might exaggerate certain features, yet the consistency regarding its mottled, dark brown or blackish-brown coloration remains unshakable across hundreds of independent reports. The head is perhaps the most unsettling part of its anatomy. It is flat and triangular, resembling the venomous mamushi viper, but with a far more aggressive and intelligent cast. Most disturbingly, witnesses have reported that the Tsuchinoko possesses eyelids and has been seen to blink. Biologically, snakes do not have eyelids and cannot blink, making this observation a profound mystery. If this is true, it suggests that the Tsuchinoko is not a reptile in the traditional sense, but perhaps a branch of evolution that split off millions of years ago, or an entirely different class of creature altogether. The idea of a serpent-like being that can fix you with a steady gaze and then slowly blink its eyes adds a layer of uncanny intelligence to the encounter, making it feel less like an animal and more like a sentient watcher from the shadows. The Tsuchinoko's methods of locomotion further defy our understanding of the natural world. While typical snakes move in a lateral undulation, using their scales to grip the earth, the Tsuchinoko is said to move in a straight line by undulating its body vertically, much like an inchworm or a caterpillar. To move such a heavy, thick body in this manner would require an incredibly powerful and specialized muscular structure. Physicists have noted that the energy required for a creature of that shape to move with. The reported speed would necessitate a metabolism far beyond that of any known reptile. Furthermore, there is the legendary and terrifying wheel movement. Folklore and modern accounts alike describe the Tsuchinoko taking its tail in its mouth to form a circle and rolling down mountain slopes at incredible speeds. This imagery evokes the ancient symbol of the Ouroboros, but in a visceral, physical form. In the steep, treacherous terrain of the Japanese highlands, such a movement would be a highly efficient way to escape a predator or pursue prey. To see a living wheel of flesh and scales hurtling toward you through the underbrush would be an experience that shatters one's grip on reality. The creature's jumping ability is equally legendary. Multiple witnesses have testified to seeing the Tsuchinoko leap several meters into the air, either vertically to escape or horizontally as if gliding toward a target. This explosive power, hidden within its bloated frame, suggests a concentrated mass of muscle capable of releasing immense kinetic energy in a single burst. Imagine walking a peaceful trail when suddenly, from the corner of your eye, a heavy, distorted shape launches itself from the earth, cutting through the air with a weight that you can feel in the very atmosphere. The sound of its landing, a dull, heavy thud, would be enough to freeze the blood of the bravest explorer. Adding to its list of anomalous traits are the sounds it is reported to make. Unlike the silent or hissing snakes we know, the Tsuchinoko is said to emit a variety of vocalizations, ranging from a high-pitched chi to a low guttural growl or a snoring sound while it sleeps. Biologically, snakes lack vocal cords, which makes these sounds an evolutionary impossibility. Some suggest the sound might be produced by air being forced through specialized chambers in its thick body, or perhaps it is a form of bioacoustic signaling used to disorient its prey. The sound of a faint whistling chi in the middle of a silent forest is a sign that the phantom is near, watching and waiting. Another peculiar aspect of Tsuchinoko lore is its purported love for alcohol. Stories abound of the creature being lured into homes by the scent of sake, or being found in a drunken stupor after consuming leftover offerings at a roadside shrine. This connection to sake links back to the ancient view of the nozuchi as a deity. In Japanese tradition, sake is the drink of the gods, a bridge between the mortal and the divine. The image of a creature that drinks, snores, and perhaps even possesses a human-like temperament suggests that the Tsuchinoko occupies a space between the animal kingdom and the spirit world. It is a creature of habit, a being that shares our vices and perhaps even understands our language, making it all the more eerie. In the 1970s, Japan was gripped by a Tsuchinoko boom of unprecedented proportions. This cultural phenomenon was ignited by the works of manga artist Takao Yaguchi and a massive search event in the town of Chikusa, Hyogo Prefecture. This was a time when Japan was transitioning into a highly modernized urban society, and the sudden craze for a mountain monster reflected a deep-seated nostalgia for the untamed wilderness that was rapidly disappearing. People were looking for a mystery to fill the void left by rapid economic growth and scientific rationalism. Local governments across the country began offering massive bounties for the capture of a live Tsuchinoko, with the highest reward reaching a staggering 100 million yen. This was more than a life's earnings for the average worker of that era, transforming the search into a modern gold rush. Thousands of amateur explorers, equipped with nets and specialized gear, swarmed into the mountains. Entire villages were revitalized by the influx of Tsuchinoko hunters, creating a festive yet serious atmosphere where the line between myth and reality became blurred. Despite the intensity of these searches, no physical specimen was ever officially confirmed. No carcass was recovered, and no live creature was brought before the cameras. Instead, the world was left with grainy photographs, patches of flattened grass that defied explanation, and the trembling testimonies of villagers who swore they had seen the mallet snake. The fact that it remained elusive despite the immense pressure of the hunt only added to its mystique. It became a modern myth, a ghost in the machine of the 20th century, reminding us that there are still places where our technology and our money hold no power. Modern science attempts to explain the Tsuchinoko through the lens of misidentification. The most prominent theory involves the blue-tongued skink, a lizard native to Australasia. With its short legs and thick body, it can easily be mistaken for a fat snake when viewed from above in tall grass. Another theory suggests that people are seeing common snakes, such as the mamushi, that have just consumed a large meal, or are heavily pregnant, causing their midsections to swell. There is also the possibility of a rare deformity or disease that causes a snake's body to bloat. While these explanations are rational and grounded in biology, they fail to account for the specialized movements of the Tsuchinoko, such as the vertical undulation or the wheel-like rolling. Furthermore, sightings of this creature were recorded long before the blue-tongued skink was ever imported to Japan as a pet. The elders of the mountain villages, who lived in harmony with nature and knew every animal by name, were not likely to mistake a common viper for something as distinct as the Tsuchinoko. There is a profound gap between scientific skepticism and the weight of thousands of years of consistent eyewitness testimony. It is in this gap that the Tsuchinoko continues to thrive. Some researchers and theorists take a more metaphysical approach, suggesting that the Tsuchinoko may be a tulpa, or a thought form and entity that exists, because the collective consciousness of the Japanese people believes in it so strongly. Alternatively, it is viewed as a creature that flickers between our three-dimensional world and a parallel dimension. This would explain why it appears and disappears so suddenly, often leaving no physical trace behind. It may be a manifestation of the energy of the land, appearing only to those whose minds are in a certain state of receptivity. In the deep mountains where magnetic fields fluctuate and the ancient silence alters one's perception of time, the brain may become susceptible to seeing things that lie just beyond the veil of normal reality. There are places in Japan known as God's domains where GPS fails and compasses spin wildly. In these zones, the Tsuchinoko might be the guardian of a doorway we are not meant to pass. If it is a trans-dimensional being, then no amount of thermal cameras or drones will ever capture its true essence, for it only reveals itself when it chooses to be seen. Ultimately, the Tsuchinoko represents our enduring fascination with the unknown. In a world that is increasingly mapped, monitored, and understood, the idea that a bizarre ancient serpent still hides in the bushes just a few miles from a bustling city provides a sense of wonder and terror that we secretly crave. It serves as a reminder that nature is not a conquered territory, but a living, breathing mystery that still holds secrets capable of challenging everything we think we know about life. Whether it is a biological anomaly, a survivor of the prehistoric era, or a spiritual manifestation, the Tsuchinoko remains a pillar of Japanese folklore. As you walk home tonight, or as you plan your next hike into the hills, keep a close watch on the edge of the trail. Listen for a faint, high-pitched whistle or a rustle that doesn't follow the wind. The Tsuchinoko is not just a story from the past, it is a presence that waits in the periphery of our vision. It is the shadow that moves when you are not looking, the weight in the grass that shouldn't be there. If you are lucky enough or perhaps unfortunate enough to catch a glimpse of that flat, triangular head and those blinking eyes, remember that you are witnessing something that has survived through the rise and fall of empires and the birth of the modern world. This journey through the legend of the Tsuchinoko brings us to a singular realization that the boundaries of our reality are far more porous than we imagine. The phantom snake is a thread that connects the ancient gods to the modern urban legend, a creature that refuses to be forgotten or explained away. It is a symbol of the wildness that still exists within the human spirit and within the earth itself. The quest for the Tsuchinoko is, in many ways, a quest to find the magic and the terror that once made the world feel vast and infinite. So, as we conclude this exploration of Japan's most famous phantom, I ask you one final time. Do you believe in the Tsuchinoko? Is it a flesh and blood animal waiting for its place in the textbooks? Or is it a ghost of the mountains that will forever elude the grasp of man? Perhaps the answer lies somewhere in between, in the quiet moments when the forest holds its breath. If you have your own stories of the strange and the unexplained, or if you have a theory that could finally solve this millennia-old mystery, please leave a comment and join the conversation. Your insight might be the final piece of the puzzle. Well, how was the story of the phantom snake, the Tsuchinoko? Among the many legends that sleep throughout Japan, there is none as beloved, as feared, and as captivating as this elusive creature. In the mountains near your own town, there may be a mystery worth 100 million yen or a terror that threatens your very soul hiding in wait. If you have any mysterious experiences or unique theories regarding the Tsuchinoko, please share them in the comments section. Your words might just be the key that opens the door to a new legend. If you found this journey intriguing, please give us a high rating and subscribe to the channel for more. Until we meet again in the next mysterious tale, please be very careful on the night paths and in the thickets.